Welcome to one more game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. I am your host, Matt Brandenberger, alongside my wonderful wife, Abby.
Howdy.
And as always, our producer, Adam Marino.
Yes, I'm here.
Present. And you may notice if you're watching on YouTube, or you might hear in the background, we have a special little guest.
She's
the
whittle.
Cutest little guest maybe that we'll ever have. This is our youngest daughter, Eleanor, who, for a variety of circumstances, could not be left home alone today.
Because life be crazy?
Because life be crazy. And so she is joining us in studio. Ellie, hi, how are you? Anything you want to say?
No.
We had this all scripted out that she was going to say hi, and what do you want to say?
What do you want to say?
But you said you'd do this.
Oh, okay.
Hi, thanks for listening to my mom and dad's podcast.
Very cute.
Good job.
Good job. So Ellie's going to go over. We've got a video set up for her, and she's going to be watching that. But you may hear from her as much as we told her, do your best to kind of just watch your video over there in the corner. Have some fun. Paws and Tails, I think, is the video of choice, and she's good to go. So welcome again.
I'm actually going to join her, guys.
Are you?
Okay. I'm over this. I'm going to watch. Can I watch with you? She's like, wait, what? That's not part of the script.
All right. So this is episode 4 of our podcast for those who love pickleball, but life be crazy.
So, speaking of crazy, she can't get it to work.
She can't get to work, of course.
Does Dad need to go? You
Right.
can go.
Right. Can I do
Go-
that?
yeah.
Go help
We're
the
just gonna
child.
keep going.
So I'll ask Abby about the crazy so far while Dad is fixing the YouTube to be watched. So, all right, how's the week been going so far?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is
Is
it.
this an
Like,
example?
this-
Like, what are we doing?
so I constantly have plans. I'm going to do this and this and this, and then none of that happens because
Does life be cray?
I have a child who's like, oh, I'm going to barf on the bathroom floor this morning. And I'm like, oh, okay,
Wonderful. Yeah.
pivot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pivot.
So when my kids even ask me like, hey mom, what are we doing tonight? I'm like, well, in theory, this is what we're going to do.
Theory.
Yeah.
In reality,
Right.
none of that happens.
You never know. Yeah. So,
So-
it has been kind of a week. Illness has kind of
Let's talk about
reigned-
Matt on Friday night.
Oh my gosh. Not
The
good.
loudest puker
Oh.
on the.
Yeah.
He like shout pukes.
Like,
right.
right.
I mean, I'm not trying to like reenact.
No,
that.
but yeah.
I'm not
But
trying-
I'll even say, like, even before I puke, and I don't like vomit all that often, but I like when I'm sick, like I can't even describe it. Like I just
I
want
can't either.
I just want to moan and groan. Like it just feels, it just hurts
You were.
so bad.
You
I
were
was
in
just like,
bed.
"Ugh." And
you
so,
want the demonic thing to leave your soul. Like,
yes.
get
Oh,
out of me.
My,
Oh, and-
my stomach is
and it
where
did.
that demonic thing was.
It did.
Yeah, it was.
I was laying in bed
Yeah, we aren't-
listening, and I was like, oh boy.
Whoa, what is happening?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And I
I
felt-
was getting a little gaggy myself.
And I felt a lot better after I did it. I don't know if it's food poisoning. There's
Well,
been some illness going around.
You
work.
did go
I
to
mean,
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, we don't want to throw McDonald's under the bus because
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
loving it.
I'm puking it.
Yeah, they could be a sponsor someday.
That's not the,
Right.
yeah, not the
Well,
tagline.
They're
not
not
the
going to
tagline.
sponsor us
Yeah.
No,
because you
not-
puked up their food.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not sure. I won't, name any location specifically, but there was a certain McDonald's I went to that I will never visit again because my wait was so long.
You said it
and
tasted
then
funny.
It tasted funny, and then 5 hours later, again, don't know if that was what it was from, but it was not a great week, and that made for kind of a rough weekend. But we've been kind of passing stuff around our house as well.
And the whole school. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's just been kind
yeah.
of ugly in that way. Speaking of the school, though, there was some exciting news. Our oldest daughter is in 8th grade, so she'll be going into high school next year, and the volleyball team that she'll be playing on won the state championship. So we went down there. Shout out to Blackhawk Christian, and my cousin's wife is actually the coach, so shout out to Ann Boyer specifically,
Yeah.
who won the state title, her first state title, the second state title for Blackhawk. So
Really
had a
exciting.
fun time
Yeah,
down
really
at Ball State cheering them on, so that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Yeah, I did see that on the news.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that they won.
It
Very
was,
cool.
it was a very exciting volleyball game. I even said to somebody, I said, man, volleyball reminds me of pickleball in terms of the runs. And they're like, that's just how you see life now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Through the
pretty
lens
much.
of pickleball.
When you go to McDonald's and puke, you're like, it's just like pickleball.
It's just like pickleball.
Like,
Sometimes it tastes funny and I want to puke it up.
Right.
Abby, your hair looks so pretty today. It's almost like pickleball.
Right. It's like a
pretty-
beautiful
it's a
morning on the
beautiful
pickleball court.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Everything's pickleball.
Yeah, speaking of pickleball, play lately has been better. We can report to our part-time marriage counselor, Adam Marino, that we've been doing better, I think.
I'm going to ask
much
Abby.
better.
Let's hear from Abby
Okay,
a
yeah.
little bit.
Much better.
Very fair.
And I just feel like there are just phases you go through.
Mm-hmm.
And there's hard weeks and good weeks. And I really love the good weeks.
It's just like pickleball.
Right.
Am I just going to say that every
Right.
10 minutes? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, I was talking about our marriage.
Oh,
Were we talking about
oh,
pickleball?
Yeah, both.
Oh.
And how they intersect
yeah, that's
on the
what this is.
pickleball court. So,
Yeah, it was a fun good week
Yeah.
of pickleball.
and we played
And marriage.
And marriage, yeah. And we played together some, and I would say I'd give myself a solid B. I still had my moments where I was maybe coaching a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But,
But he said it in a sing-song voice.
oh, I did. You liked that? Not really.
I did not.
No. Okay. How did?
just so
What did
we're
I
clear.
say?
You were like, I don't know what you
I
said, but
don't
you're
remember.
like, get it over the net or something like that. And I was like,
Oh, man.
I don't think it was.
yeah,
like that.
okay, maybe not that
Yeah.
bad, but I was like, even in a sing-song voice, I don't like it.
Yeah. Like Jessica Day from New Girl.
Trying
You know,
something new.
Like,
That's him.
stop singing, Jess.
Right. Right.
I love that show.
Yeah.
I love Nick
Right.
because this is Nick right here.
I have not watched that show, so I don't know what that means. But I
Oh.
have heard from multiple people,
Yes.
including those that know me best.
Yes,
So I don't know if that's a compliment or
No.
not.
it
but-
is.
Oh,
No, it's not.
Oh, man.
He's a slob. He's like, Now, he's
everybody's always said
cool,
it kind of
and
He's
endearing.
funny.
awesome. He's my favorite, other than Schmidt.
yeah, Schmidt. The way he,
Noise.
yeah. Jar.
Oh gosh,
I love this.
we're gonna have a whole new girl
I
episode.
love-
Yeah. I am starting a Seinfeld podcast. That's,
Are you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Later. So
Okay, we'll tease that later.
yeah.
All right. Today, our pickleball focus is going to be on the speed up. That's the fourth and final stage of the pickleball point, as we've kind of been going through the series of those. But before we get into the speed up of pickleball, let's talk about the speed up that is our family. Abs, we have kind of walked through our courting and our marriage, our infertility issues, and now all of a sudden, 2008, the children came, and they came fast, and they came furious. We're not going to get into each individual story in this episode, but kind of just an overview, maybe. Walk us through.
Yeah, I mean, I think we alluded to it a while ago. Our home study was finalized January 28th of 2009, and Hannah was born January 30th of 2009. So
As I was born
the math.
January 30th
Yes,
of,
you
of
were.
1981.
yes, you were just like 20 days after me. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Well,
right near my
we're not
birthday,
interested
too.
in when
Right.
When I was
I'm
born,
saying the
nobody
exact
cares.
day.
You're right.
Right. You share the birthday with our oldest daughter.
That is more what
We-
people are interested in.
You're
Right.
both so special.
We don't care if it's 20 days later than someone else
Right.
who has pretty hair. Okay, we're not
That's just like
interested.
pickleball. Anyway,
So,
yeah. So that was quite a shock.
yeah.
We
2
had
days.
we had nothing,
Right.
and Matt gets a phone call, and we're like, "Excuse me, what?"
We don't have a crib. We don't have a.
We don't have a diaper, we have nothing.
Yeah.
Abby actually said a very potty word.
I did. I thought he was joking.
Yes, I
Mhm.
remember hearing this story off camera a while ago.
Mhm.
That and because Nick from New Girl would also joke like that.
He would.
Mhm.
Like, hey, we have a baby now. Like, yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
what I
yeah,
thought was
right.
going on. I'm like, that's the rudest joke.
Yeah,
Right.
like not the time, buddy, to
Right.
joke.
So I
no,
kinda-
I'm not joking.
Right.
So I kind of,
Right.
yeah, that's what I. So yeah, they were like, "Come pick her up."
Yep.
So we did.
With what? A shovel? Like, what do we use?
Right.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Pretty
Is that
much.
from Anchorman?
Freaking out.
Shut your face.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we'll get into each
Yeah.
individual stories, but so 15 months later, though, so we have
Yeah,
Hannah.
so
and
Hannah,
then
15
next
months
came-
later, we get a phone call. Well, around a year. Hannah
Mm-hmm.
was about a year, and they're like, "Hey, we have some expectant moms.
Mhm.
Would you want to renew your home study?" We're like, "Absolutely."
Because
So
the rule is you have to wait a year.
a year.
Oh, okay.
To-
And so this was even
That's
right
their
bef-
agency's
right.
rule.
But
It's not like a state law.
Had you talked about it? Like, hey,
Oh, yeah, we
think
were-
Well, yeah,
we
because you
wanted
do like
more
follow
kids.
ups. I
Yeah.
mean, they like come to your house and visit.
Yeah.
So we had talked like, hey, we do want more kids.
and you must have pulled it together for them to ask you to take on another life.
Right. Right.
Somehow.
we had done okay, I guess.
Somehow I managed.
we had passed the test.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So Hannah was born in January of 2009, and then Olivia was born April of 2010.
Yeah,
So,
15 months was
months
kind of
apart.
our magic number then.
Mhm.
So-
And then after Olivia, we did have, so the year of 2011 and 2012, we had renewed our home study for a third, and we had multiple adoptions as failure placements.
I mean, we're talking
Like,
5,
I was-
6, 8. I mean, it was.
Yeah,
it was
I was
a
at the
lot.
hospital with one of them.
Mhm.
They were all boys for the record. Every single one of them was
Not
a boy.
meant to be.
So when you say failure placement,
Yeah, so
Can
the
you-
birth mom changed her mind,
Birth mom changed her mind.
which is
or-
her right to do.
is this a typical?
It
This
happens.
can
Yeah.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes through the process and then has the baby and then feels like, oh my gosh, I can't give
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which let's be
Totally
a little bit
understand.
honest here.
I get it.
Oh, yeah.
We kind of would maybe hope for that,
Right.
Unless like
Yeah.
there's just such a horrible situation where you know that like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, this baby's not going to do well.
Yeah, it's
But you would-
it's complicated for sure. It's mixed emotions, and depending upon the support system they have around them,
Yeah.
makes it either harder or easier.
But deep down, you would want a mother to do whatever she could to keep the baby,
Yeah.
right?
You do.
It's a little bit odd asking this to you guys as adoptive parents,
Right.
but like deep down, right?
Deep
Like,
down,
you kind of
deep down, the nuclear biological family is
a thing.
how it was
It's
originally
a
intended.
thing, yeah.
That's
So
that's God's design.
I
Is
get
what
it.
we would say,
Yeah.
and so
I never was angry that they changed their minds.
Mm-hmm.
I was sad because that was the only way I thought I could build a family, and
Mm-hmm.
I understood it. But I you can also be sad for yourself, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's,
totally fair.
But let
totally
me
fair.
add to that: we also believe in God's sovereignty, and that the daughters He did place into our family
Absolutely.
were absolutely
for a reason,
yeah,
completely. Yeah.
So yeah, those were hard years. Honestly, those were really hard of all these adoptions falling through.
How would you compare that even to the infertility?
I mean, it
was a different hurt, but it
different,
was-
but,
yeah.
but hard because again, I thought this is the only way. This is
Right.
the only way we get to have kids.
Right.
And people keep changing their mind on us.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I was holding one of them, a
Right.
little boy. I was holding him,
Ugh,
and
it's a gut punch.
it really
get
is.
it. I get
it
it.
really is. But you know, Lord willing, they're all fine now.
So fast forward 2012, big surprise comes
So yes, I don't even know. We got pregnant.
somehow, some way.
Man.
Figured it out.
I guess that was a shocker.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, I'd taken a lot of pregnancy tests in my life, and I had reason to take this one, and I was like, "That's not negative." Like,
Yeah.
so this is the first not negative one I had ever seen, and I
And
was like,
you told me,
I wake him up. It's like on your birthday, wasn't it your
I
birthday?
think it was on my birthday.
I wake him up, and I was like waving the stick in his face. I was like, "It's not negative."
Hey, look what I just peed on. You're like,
know.
ew.
Ew.
And
Yeah.
Matt's like,
Get on my
"What?
face."
What?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's my birthday. I don't want this.
Yeah.
I was like, "It's not negative. I'm going running."
That's not how you want to be woken up on your birthday.
I'm going running.
I did, so I went running.
Yeah.
I had to
So
process all of this.
It would have, nowadays it would have been, I'm going to play pickleball. But back then
Right.
it was,
I'm going running.
Yeah. So that was Emmeline.
there you
That's
go.
our middle child.
Yeah. So,
then
15 months
15
later,
months,
I get
yeah.
a random call from this agency we had worked with a couple years before. Hey, are you interested in adopting again there in Evansville? Well, absolutely. You know,
Right, we're not
we
gonna
can
say
we
no.
can quickly update a home study, which is nice.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, because she's due tomorrow.
Oh, jeez.
We were like, oh, boy.
Okay.
Oh,
but
boy.
you weren't in active conversations necessarily. You were just
Not
playing
with-
it by ear, playing it by God, like
Not
whatever.
with this agency, no.
And then all of a sudden they
Yeah,
call and
that
say,
was odd.
Yep.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're like,
Well,
oh,
I think it was a
geez.
Thursday. I think they said Tuesday, if I'm
Well,
going to be
still,
specific.
A week, less
Yep.
than a week.
Yeah. So she goes, can you be here
Still.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
We were like, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was, a long drive down there. And we did not know
Well, there's a boy or a girl.
gender of the baby. So it's kind of like, ooh, is this our boy? Nope.
Nope.
It's not. We have a video. I could link that in the show notes.
Oh,
kind
that'd
of
be
a
fun.
Cute one that
Yeah.
that I made when we were kind of held prisoner in the hospital there for
That's the thing.
a few days. Yeah, that'll be a whole story when we
That is a
when
whole
we tell
story.
that. But
Write that down. Baby friendly hospital is a story.
Yes. Baby friendly, not parent friendly.
No.
And then 15
Parker.
months later,
Well, Parker was 6 months old,
yep,
and
we get pregnant
we got
again.
pregnant again.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Just figured it out second time. So that was, again, a
So,
shocker. And
15 months apart.
yeah,
So they're all of our, like, they just kept coming every 15
except for that
months.
gap between our oldest two and our three youngest are all kind of in that 15-month gap.
So all in all, Eleanor, fifth kid, was born the week Hannah turned 7. So we had 5 kids in 7 years.
Yeah.
That
Bang. Bang, bang, bang,
you
bang,
wouldn't
bang.
wish that on your worst enemy, would you?
Kinda.
Love it. No, we loved every minute of it. And those days were fun. I do miss those days at times when they were all like super young.
Yeah,
but
I just remember, here's like I remember making this a memory at the time, like, remember this. Like, Eleanor's brand new home from the hospital. There's a whole, I don't know, you guys don't understand this, but nursing is like a whole like process those first few weeks, months. I'm nursing her. I hear Liv go, "Mom, Emmy peed on the floor." And so you guys don't know you're a prisoner when you're nursing because you like,
You can't.
and
well, yeah.
all of a sudden then I hear a thunk and then I hear Liv go, "Parker fell in it." And I'm like, Matt was at work. And I was like, remember this moment.
Yeah, remember.
And that is like the defining moment of our tiny little children
those
running
15
everywhere.
seconds kind of
You know,
microcosm of all of it.
who's the youngest?
Eleanor.
Okay, when she graduates high school and you're moving her into maybe a dorm or her first apartment, you're going to be sad.
Oh,
And you're going to want to go back to the
Absolutely.
the pee on the
pee.
floor.
You would rather have pee on the floor
Yeah.
than be an
And
empty
Abby's not
nester.
even the sentimental type, but
Yeah.
But you absolutely will.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
calling it
For
right
sure.
now.
Absolutely.
And then, unfortunately, you're going
enjoyed-
to think of me.
yeah.
Why am I thinking of Adam right now?
Be like, something reminds me of Adam.
Yeah.
Oh, he
'Cause I
told
mentioned
me
it.
this.
R.I.P.
All right. Jeez. That's rough. All right.
I'm just kidding. But hold on. I feel like I have to
yeah,
say,
one more thing. Okay.
like, you know, when it does go by in a blink of an eye, it does.
Yeah.
But I feel like I always have to say, like, I was there for it.
Right.
I saw everything. I was like, I embraced and loved and enjoyed
You didn't wish it away. You
75% of the time.
didn't. A solid 75.
Listen, you can't enjoy it when your child poops on your arm,
Right.
Right.
which
but-
happens.
Right.
So,
It does. All right. Well, you are listening to One More Game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we are going to get into some pickleball talk. See you in a second. Come join the fun at pickleballrocks.com, your trusted authority when it comes to all your pickleball needs. Apparel, paddles, bags, hats, you name it, you'll find it there. Family owned and operated for nearly 15 years.
Matt and I are growth pros for Pickleball Rocks, and for being a loyal listener of the One More Game podcast, we can offer you a 15% discount at checkout when you use the code MATB15. So head over to pickleballrocks.com and check it out. Let's play.
All right, welcome back to One More Game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. Today our focus again is on the speed up.
I'm giving the finger guns.
Yeah, Adam is falling in love with finger guns and it's becoming concerning.
During the break, that's all we were doing.
Right. So we're gonna have to maybe show some bonus content of the between break stuff. Sometimes that's our best content.
Right. Sorry, guys. Sorry, not sorry. Or?
Right. So fourth stage of the pickleball point, the speed up. So let's just go through those quickly again. Serve and return is stage number 1, happens in every point. Second stage is that critical struggle to the line, trying to get up to the kitchen line so that you can get into the third stage, the dink game. And that's what we talked about last week, going back and forth, that slow down game of the dink game. So now we're into a pickleball point, into that fourth stage. How's the point going to end? It usually is going to end either with somebody making a mistake or by somebody speeding it up and inducing a mistake. So when we talk about the speed up, the ball going from just little dinks to somebody putting a little bit more pace on it or trying to induce that mistake from the other team or win the point right there. Abby, what are we thinking about? Maybe let's start with the why or the when we're going to enter into that speed up phase.
Yeah, so this is when the ball is left a little high,
Okay.
and you can, hit it hard. We're not dinking anymore. You hit it hard, hopefully to win a point.
Yep. With a little bit more pace. Kind of talk about those zones. That when you say high, how high are we talking?
Yeah, so there's the red and yellow and green zone. Red is going to be I don't know, to your knee, calf area where your paddle motion is going from low to high. You really can't speed that up, I guess, unless you're lobbing. Then the yellow zone is that, you know, maybe need a hip is yellow. So that's like, I could speed it up. It's risky. But
if
then
you put some top spin on it, maybe you could get,
but a really good green one is, you know, net level, or depending on your height, you know, about, you know, hip waist level, and you can really get a good solid speed up on that.
where you
Get
can
it down even,
exactly,
get it down at your opponent's feet, or at least try to get it down where they're then lunging for it, or
So you're really looking to speed it up when you feel like you have a good chance to win the point. You know, it's a lot of people get bored with the dink game and they get impatient, and so they'll speed it up when it's not really a good time. So you're really looking for a spot where I have a better than 50% chance to win this point if I speed it up. So again, first thing, looking at how high the ball is. The higher it is, the more advantageous it is for you to speed up. I had trouble with that.
you didn't even say it right.
still didn't.
Advantageous.
Advantageous.
Like
I tried to put it like
contagious.
You had no G.
yeah. I put like a C instead
You
of a G.
did.
Yeah. Advantageous there.
Later, you can go to awkward.com and see this whole
Right.
exchange.
This whole
Log on
I'm getting
to.
sweaty.
yeah. Every time.
Man.
So
Who
what else?
invited him?
Who is this guy?
What else? Let's recognize that the opponent doesn't
Yeah.
handle speed well.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the receiving end of that a whole lot because being very new to all of this, I think had a reputation of hit it hard at Abby. She can't handle it.
Right.
I think, I mean, I've gotten better.
You have gotten better, a lot better. But yeah, when you notice that that's a weakness of somebody,
You might as
that's
well hit it at him.
what you're going to want to do.
I mean, not too many people handle anything when it's that hard. It's
And
just
close. I mean,
and close. That's
Right.
the
Yeah.
idea. Is you're that close. It's like, come on, you can get better, sure,
Right.
but like I think that's a struggle. Gonna just right.
Yeah, but
that's like whenever I'm giving a lesson is then how do I, they just hit it hard at me. How do I get better at that? I'm like, that's like the number one.
Right. It's also a good idea to do it when dinking has not been successful. Maybe you've been playing against a team that dinks very well, and that hasn't been working. So you need to just kind of change it up. I've seen games flip-flop. We talked about like volleyball earlier, and that's exactly what we saw in that state championship game where one team won, like killed them one game. The next game it flip-flopped. And I've seen pickleball games, and a lot of times that's because they figure out something like, ooh, this team's struggling with the speed up, so I'm going to, start speeding it up instead of staying in the dink game. So it can be a good idea to
that's
mix
like
it up.
the battle of strategies.
Yep.
Is one team's trying to get everything into the dink game, one team's trying to speed
Right.
everything up, and it's like, it's kind of fun.
Now, would you say to someone who you just said, "Oh, what do? I don't handle," when someone crushes it at me, wouldn't also you say, "Well, don't give them lollipops either," right?
Well, obviously you're never trying to give them a
Yeah.
lollipop.
I mean, if you work on that though,
Right.
Keeping
As
it low, yeah.
keeping
Absolutely.
it low, isn't that a huge factor
Yep.
on, instead of saying, well, let's not work on receiving that, how about you not give them a beach
Exactly.
ball?
Yep.
Let's work on that. Like
Yeah.
that would help me, I
And
think.
that's why we've said in
Yeah.
multiple episodes, and we'll probably say it in multiple more, is keeping the ball low, making it bounce. The lower that ball is, the more it's in the red zone. They're not going to be able to attack it. And if they do, you're either going to be able to get out of the way and it's going to sail out, or they're going to smack it right into the net.
Yeah.
So, what else in terms of why and when we would go to the speed up?
Yeah, it's always good to have your feet balanced and set. Feel like you're ready to speed it up at somebody, your opponent. It's never a good idea to
Not
kind
your
of
partner.
Yeah.
It's always your opponent.
It is. That's pro tip.
I'm glad you
At your
said that.
opponent.
Smart Alec is very strong in this one today.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. Who
I'm
invited
sorry.
him?
Do you see this?
Yeah. No, what's happening? Do we have a little child crawling? This is the little interruptions we thought we might have. So,
Anyways, yeah, if you're off balance, probably not going to be the best shot. Maybe sometimes you're just trying to do what you can do, but it's always better to be set
Absolutely.
Pizza.
Yeah. And being in that ready position always, because you never know when the other team might
Yeah.
speed it up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're set and in a good spot, it is a good time to speed up as
Mhm.
well. All right, where are we going with this speed up? What are some good targets for us?
Noticing your opponent, what they're doing, a lot of people, and I think rightly so, guard their backhand
Mm-hmm.
because you can take a lot of balls with your backhand.
Yep.
But that means you speed it up to their forehand.
Yep. So if they have their backhand, we call them guarding their backhand, it's going to be hard for them to like kind of flip their hand position to get back over to their forehand. So a lot of times it seems counterintuitive. You say, oh, I don't want to go to somebody's forehand. Well, once they're up at the net, I'll get.
It's hard to get from here to here.
Yeah. If you really see them guarding. Now, when we teach, we say you shouldn't be guarding it all the way. You should have it more at a neutral position, or we'll even say like 11 or 10 o'clock. So you're kind of cheating over that way because that's where you're going to be able to block more balls. But it's more easy for you to get back over to that forehand side as well. So that's good. So trying to find their weakness, not always the backhand, but sometimes depending on how they kind of play at the line.
Kind of that dominant hip shoulder.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of that, you have to chicken wing and
right.
It makes them.
So trying to get them, so when you say dominant side, so if they're a right-handed player aiming either at their right shoulder or right hip, that's kind of harder for them to block that ball. So that's a good place to aim if you're trying to speed it up. Other places just, might be kind of obvious, but if there's open court or, a place where you see that you can hit it in, most of the time you're really trying to hit the ball in. You want to say, if they don't hit this ball, if it misses them, I want this ball to go in. We'll talk about body bags and body shots here in a second, but most of the time you're thinking with my speed up, if this ball does not, hit them or they're not able to hit this, I want this ball to still land in the court. So open court, we already talked about.
Did you say middle?
Yeah. Middle's a good place. We've talked about that in previous episodes with dinking and other things. Middle solves the riddles.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
And
People, the miscommunication of that can be kind of a thing as well. So most of the shots you're trying to still get in, but there are body shots, body bags.
We should put our body shot clinic on TikTok in the show notes.
Yeah, we just posted that on TikTok this last week. Is kind of a funny one.
I got you body bagged. I left one. I thought it was good in the middle, but the right hander kind of reaches in and slams it at Matt right in the chest.
Yeah, got me right in the chest, and then
when I got body bagged was also my fault.
But then when
Two for two.
but then the guy who body bagged both of us, then she stepped in 3 points later and body bagged him. So she was responsible for all three of them. Yeah, so
it's called a hat trick.
Yeah, hat trick. Way to go.
But mine, if I hadn't hit him, mine would have been out.
Right, for sure. And that's and sometimes you do that. And in rec play, that's kind of like it can be kind of, people can get kind of upset if you're doing that too much. You don't want to be like the guy who's just out drilling people.
Right. All, I feel like.
Right. For the most part, it's a lot of times it might even be an accident that you hit somebody. You're trying to speed it up the middle, and it just kind of catches them. But that's kind of an all or nothing type shot, because if they don't get out of the way, and it hits them, great. But if they do get out of the way, it's probably sailing out of bounds. So you're kind of going for it there. All right, we've got more to talk about with the speed up game, but let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Are you new to the game of pickleball and looking to learn the basics? Or maybe you're an experienced player who wants to take your game to the next level? Both Matt and I would love to help.
That's right, Abby. We are both Level 2 IPT-PA certified instructors and would love working with you, either giving you private lessons, group lessons, or hosting a clinic. We also offer unique video coaching utilizing the latest in drone technology. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok by searching Hoosier Pickleball, or email us at hoosierpickleball@gmail.com. Also, check out the show notes for all the links to our social channels. All right, welcome back to one more game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. I am your host, Matt Brandenberger, alongside Abby and Adam. Abby, we've been talking about the speed up game, and let's get into the how. So When we recognize a good time to speed up, what are the mechanics? As a PTA, body movements and how the mechanics of body motion work. What are you thinking about in terms of that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we could really dig deep into that.
Sure.
But I'll just start generally.
Mm-hmm.
In most sports, you get your power from legs, core,
Mm-hmm.
shoulders, right? I mean, if we're using the real peripheral joints,
Yeah.
which would be like ankles and wrists,
Yeah.
you could create some weaknesses and some injuries. So I think the core can be just an entire episode itself.
Yeah. So you're really trying to stay compact
Mhm.
though, right?
Yeah, you're
And
not
so,
big swinging. It's
right,
little.
but you've got your knees bent, and so you can kind of get your
Mhm.
legs into it and really
Mhm.
get some power from there.
And it's not like the harder you hit is because your swing is bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's your swing should actually probably stay similar size, but it's faster.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
It's quicker. Yeah.
It's like a volleyball serve.
Yeah. And I like to get my wrist involved, get a little flick to it to put a little bit more pop on it as well. That can be kind of a risk reward type
Mhm.
thing, because the more wrist action you get, you might put it at a different angle than you meant to hit it, or it
Mhm.
might go out.
Right. You like the other day,
Yeah.
you hit one out with your wrist. Like you had a really nice wrist flick, but you hit
Yeah.
it out. But I was like, you got mad at yourself. Do you remember what I said? I was
No.
like, babe, 9 times out of 10, that's in.
Yeah.
I don't care that you hit it out once.
Right.
Like keep doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. We want to disguise it as much as possible. So if you can make, if you're dinking, if we're talking about kind of a speed up, we're not talking about a speed up that's an obvious one, right? If it's in the green zone, everybody sees it coming. They know that's coming. But sometimes when it's down in that yellow zone, it's down around your knees or your waist level, and you want to make it look like you're going to be dinking it. So you want that motion to be the exact same, but then you want to do a little wrist flick, or you want to, speed it up a little bit with your shoulder, like Abby's talking about as well. But staying consistent in your motion, just like a pitcher tries to make his delivery look the exact same, no matter if it's a changeup or a slider or a fastball. You're trying to do the same thing as well, whether or not you're hitting just a normal dink, or if you're going to be hitting that speed up as well. Disguising it is really big.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping your paddle up, so that you're ready for the retaliation.
Mm-hmm. I spend the entire pickleball game assuming it is about to be hit as hard as it can at me.
Yep. Yep. One guy I play with, I always loved, he said, sit on fastball. Like if the changeup comes, if a dink comes, you're fine. But if you're sitting there ready, expecting every time they're going to speed this up, then you have time to, react if not. So I think that's always good advice as well. So paddle up, knees bent to be ready to get into that firefight.
That makes me feel good because I think I do that naturally.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think
good.
that's good then. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm on the
Yeah.
right path.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the knees bent too. That's good. Is the lower you are, the higher the ball is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So then that you can hit it down.
Yeah.
And that's something I could work on.
Yeah.
I could work on. I could work on getting lower than to hit it down.
Yeah.
I feel like our friend Matt called it like the scorpion or something.
Yeah, yeah. If you can get the lower you get, and to that point too, some of our friends who aren't as tall almost have an advantage
Seriously,
because they're hitting the ball.
they're not net level.
Right, they're at like net level. So and we talked about that with the pros too. The deeper your knee bend is, and you can really get down, it makes it a lot easier to kind of hit a downward shot then.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
I
good.
think this next point is very important.
Go ahead.
Okay. So don't assume that first speed up that you think is going to be a put away. Assume it's not.
Yep.
Assume it's the setup for the put away. Okay. It's the surprise that they will pop it up to put it away. I get caught watching,
Yeah, thinking, oh, this
Like-
speed up's going to win the point.
like nailed
No,
it.
No,
and then they get it back.
it's that speed up, then paddle up to be able to then hit that put away.
Yep. So wait for the second one.
Yeah, we call that a weak reply. You're speeding up to induce a weak reply from them that then you can kill and put the point away. So that's a good point as well. I want to give some drills in a second, but the one other thing that we didn't mention that I think is important to mention in terms of these 4 phases of the pickleball point is that they don't always just go in succession. 1 through 4,
right.
speed up and it's over. Sometimes you'll have a speed up, where it turns into a firefight, bang, 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 back and forth, and then somebody does a nice reset, meaning they kind of hit it softly back, and now we're back in the dink game, and we're back dinking. Then somebody might throw up a lob. So now all of a sudden you've got people scrambling to the back line, and now what phase are we in?
We're getting back to the line.
Yeah, we're getting back to phase 2, the struggle to the line. So the pickleball point can have those ebbs and flows of, going through those stages, but that's really kind of an overview of all 4 of those. So give us some drills that we like to do, that we teach when we do clinics or lessons.
And I think we're going to be able to put a couple of these in the show notes.
Yep.
So heels on the kitchen line inside.
Yep.
Okay, both of you opposite each other, and just fast hands volleyed out of there. Forehand, backhand. Try to direct it where you want to go, and then responding to them. And
and you're not trying to necessarily be. You can do it both ways. You can
Right.
try to be cooperative, where you're just trying to work on quickness, or you can try to beat each other and play.
You're trying to volley on purpose back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not trying to win.
No.
Yeah. And Abby said heels on the line, which would be kind of the equivalent to swinging with a heavy bat. Like you're shortening that distance between the two people.
Yeah.
But even just, when we warm up before a tournament, that's one of the last things we always will do is sit there just for the last couple minutes and just really make sure we've got our quick hands going and staying behind the line doing that. But as a drill, I do like standing inside that kitchen area with your heels on the line. So that's a good one. Simone has a good one kind of along these lines of trying to keep the body still as much as possible. I crack up at some videos that I've seen before of myself, or my friend Jeff does the same thing, where a speed up comes and it's almost like a natural reaction, just kind of like leap or kind of jump.
You guys do that.
And I don't know why that is, but you really
But you get it back. So.
Yeah, you really want to stay as still as possible. DJ Young is one of the best pros that I've seen at just kind of standing there and he's just almost nonchalant, just almost looks like he's bored, just kind of just his whole body is still except his arm moving back and forth.
Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah. So you can put Simone's drill is put a bean bag or something on your head to kind of promote just keeping your whole body still except that.
I would not be very good at that.
Yeah, I can't keep my balance. I can't even just stand
Oh,
still.
my word.
Yeah.
I have a good dome for that.
You do.
You do. Yeah. And then the last one I'll say is just the dink speed up game, where you kind of start back and forth. You're just dinking, and it's one person's job to look for the right opportunity to speed up. And so you're just you can do that one kind of as a game where you play
we do that in the
11.
basement,
Yep.
and we play to whatever we play to.
Yeah, I usually win. Not true. You have very fast hands. You do a great job. More on that later, Adam.
Yeah.
I saw you kind of look. So yeah, we'll definitely put a couple of those. Am I making you blush?
I don't
making
even
you
know.
red again?
I'm sweaty.
Yeah, sweaty.
Sweaty Abby. But we'll put some of those on TikTok as well, and in the show notes.
TikTok game, I will say, is strong.
We're trying.
TikTok game. Follow these guys on TikTok, guys.
Yeah.
It's funny.
At Hoosier Pickleball, you'll find us on TikTok. We need more followers. What we want to do, if we get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, we can start doing some lives, so we can have some more interactive stuff.
That'd be cool.
So I think we're right around 100 now. So
Yeah.
if you haven't followed us on Hoosier Pickleball on TikTok,
we're funny,
do that.
guys.
Abby
We're pretty
thinks
funny.
I just like you getting hit in the face with a
those.
a pan.
That was pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
I love seeing these things and then try to it was just with
Matt's
a metal
very
plan.
techie,
Yeah.
so he's good at those.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm real creative, but I can find somebody's good idea and I'm really good at stealing it, making it my own.
No,
There's
that's good.
nothing wrong with that.
Right. All right, so we said we want to end each episode from now on with something we love. So Abby, I'll let you go first again. What is something you are loving?
I mean, again, this is going to be curated items for the ladies. So,
gosh.
last week it's like, I love my Stitch Fix jeans. This week, you guys, I know they're everywhere, but those Lululemon little everywhere bags that are little, I use it when we travel. I took it to Vegas. I was actually got it like before they went crazy. I've never been super cool in my life, and
You're super trendy.
somehow I jumped on this trend before it became something. I think maybe I didn't, but anyways, anyways, I love it so much, and we're going on a couple trips, and I love taking it's just wallet, keys.
Super simple.
So
Do they make one for guys? Fanny
you
pack?
would be welcome to wear one.
Okay.
There are
Gender neutral?
They are. They're gender neutral. So,
Okay. I'll consider it.
they're only like $38 is all I'm saying.
Nice.
So
For
I
Lulu,
love,
that's
for
very
Lulu,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got some Lulu dupes of like clothes and stuff from Amazon, but I don't have anything that's like real Lululemon because we have 5 kids.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Lulu,
if you're listening, we would love a sponsorship from you
Yes.
guys. We will wear.
Because I've
I
bought
would
one thing,
too.
guys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pay a light bill.
Yeah.
I would love it too.
I will say, I remember Ben Johns
Yeah.
on his podcast was trying to get Lulu to sponsor him, and if he couldn't get them,
Then
I
I'm not.
kind of doubt we're going to. But hey,
Yet.
shoot your shot. Shoot
Yep.
But
your
I'm
shot.
genuinely loving this.
Absolutely.
Is so.
Okay.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah.
I'm
Great
seeking it.
Wow.
segue into what I'm loving, and I am loving my health right now.
Not barfing.
Not barfing.
Yes.
Man, don't you just take for granted though?
Oh, man.
When you're sick.
When
you're
I
just
sleep
like,
on my back funny or something and it
Oh, yeah.
hurts to
Yeah.
turn around or
You're like-
hurt. And then after that, it's fine. And you're like, oh, man, I take for granted that my back was
Seriously.
fine.
Right.
Like,
Right. Or Abby rolled her ankle. How is your ankle, by the way?
It's sore,
Okay.
but
Yeah. So yeah, just any injury you get or sickness you have, it just always
I feel like
makes
we've
me.
had a couple friends this week with some serious things, not puking,
Yeah.
but serious things.
Yeah. On that note, I did want to kind of end the show by just a special shout out to Jody Glass, who is a friend of all of ours. I taught with Jody for a while. She's actually our dog sitter now. But she's going through some tough stuff. And so, Jody, you're in our thoughts and prayers. We love you, and we're praying for you. So wanted to kind of leave it on that. So thank you guys, as always, for listening. We do appreciate all of the support. It's been fun to see. We're going to keep on going with these. Next week, we have kind of a special episode. A friend of mine, a friend of ours, Ryan Kearns, is going to be in studio to talk with us. He's, again, kind of the one that got me into pickleball and started this whole thing. And so we thought he'd be a good guest to bring on.
the godfather of why we're all sitting here.
Right.
It's his fault, guys.
It's his fault. It's his fault you're
Which is a
listening.
cool story. Yeah. So I'm
But it's
excited.
very
to-
cool. And he's got a lot of good stuff to share with us with his background in tennis and really being a great ambassador for the game here in our area. So no matter where you live, I think you'll enjoy listening to Ryan. We'll have a lot of fun with him as well. So make sure you tune in next time. Thanks for joining us this time, though. Hope you have a great day. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Hoosier Pickleball, Indiana Physical Therapy, and Pickleball Rocks. In addition, a big thank you to our production company, Coraggio Media, and the 95.7 WELT studio in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or find us on YouTube at One More Game Pod. That's the number 1 More Game Pod. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating to help us spread the word. You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok at Hoosier Pickleball for all kinds of fun, tips, tricks, and other family nonsense, and also some great discussion. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye.